When you watch a video, the image is only 50% of the product. And when you're filming, one of the best ways to reinforce your images is to make sure you record some wonderful sound. Today, I'm gonna cover some tips to make sure you get the best sound when you film a video. But before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you can make sure to watch some future content from me. You want your audio to stand out. After all, it is 50% of your video. There are things you can do in post-production, but that's only a portion of your audio. If you don't record your audio properly during production, then there's really no way to save your audio in post-production. And to all you beginners and amateur video creators, do not take sound recording for granted. And I want to point out that in all my videos, the audio you're hearing is not just recorded live and used as is. I actually take an extra step in post-production to make sure my audio is enhanced and cleaned up really well to make sure that it sounds at the highest quality. And this is probably something we could cover in another video. So for now, let's just focus on the recording process and just the bare minimums to get you started. If you're out shopping for equipment, you want to make sure you pick up a really good on-camera microphone, and specifically a shotgun mic. A shotgun mic has a much better reach and a more direct line of focus when recording compared to a stereo microphone. Both microphones have their uses, but assuming that you're filming a talking head, you want to have the least amount of excess noise interfering with your audio. Now here's something to keep in mind. A shotgun mic doesn't mean you can stand 20 feet away from your subject and record superb audio. In fact, it's the opposite. You actually want this guy to be as close to your subject as possible. If your mic is going to be on top of your camera, then you probably want to get as close as you can, but it might be hard depending on the type of angle you want. However, this setup is best used if you're in a room that's very quiet with little to no echo, and you could then enhance the volume in post-production. You want to set up your microphone above your subject. Essentially, you would set the rig up, put the microphone on top, and then have the microphone point directly towards your subject's sternum. The other thing you want to do is make sure the microphone's as low as possible, so I would just lower it in until it's barely in frame. For my setup, I use a boom pole, a boom mount, a grip knuckle, and a heavy-duty light stand. I got most of these items used, and it still probably cost about $100. One easy and cheap solution you can do is buy a musician mic stand with a boom arm, and then buy the proper screws to mount your microphone. By going this route, it should cost you only about 25 bucks. If you can't achieve the overhead rig, you can just put the mic on a second tripod, so instead of recording overhead, it'll be recording underneath. Again, try to make sure the mic is pointed towards your sternum, and try to avoid being under any AC unit or anywhere that's very drafty. You can easily purchase on-camera microphones. You can find ones as low as $25 to $30, but you could also find ones as high as $300. Unless you're planning to do high-end sound recording, then there's no reason to spend so much. Personally, I actually own about 3 different shotgun mics, each ranging from $30 to $60. I use them for different scenarios because they all have different recording patterns. The other thing to keep in mind is you might want to have a couple different windshields for your microphone. The most common windshield is made of foam. These are great to protect against light breezes or indoor air drafts. However, if there is a gust of wind, then it will become faulty. The other windshield you want to have in your arsenal is a fur shield, or sometimes known as a dead cat. These are ideal for outdoor breezy conditions. If you're not in a soundproof studio, then ambient sound is inevitable. However, there are ways you can take control of it. When you find a location to film at, just take a moment to listen and figure out what kind of excess noises do you hear. If you're near your kitchen, you're gonna probably hear your fridge running once in a while, so it's probably best to unplug it, or at best, record from a distance. When you're filming outside, you're just gonna have to accept the fact you're gonna have excess noise. Using a shotgun mic is definitely gonna be better than using a built-in microphone, and regardless of what mic you use, just take a moment to find a relatively quiet area. The reason I like to have multiple audio sources is to ensure I have a backup in case one audio track just doesn't cut it. This is why I record audio from both my camera and my audio recorder. By having a separate device that's dedicated to just audio, it's going to ensure you get the best quality. I highly encourage everyone to go pick up an external audio recorder. You don't have to go too fancy. You can probably find an audio recorder for as low as $50. You can even use your smartphone to record separate audio. The only rule I have when it comes to recording with multiple sources is to make sure you clap at the beginning or the end of your take to ensure that you can sync your audio and your video. I mentioned you want the clearest sounding audio, and a lapel mic or lavalier is what's going to give you that clear sound. These mics are perfect because they're small and they're meant to be clipped onto your clothes to make sure you get the clearest sound possible. You can probably find some cheap lapels for about $10 or more, but you want to make sure you buy an extension cable as well. This way you can plug the lapel directly into your camera and then sit away from it and talk into the camera. And if you own a lapel mic but you don't have extension cables, then you're going to probably want to use your audio device to record with the lapel. And then this leaves my camera tangle free. One item you can consider is to purchase a wireless receiver. It's perfect if you want to use the lapel while you're walking around outside, but the only problem is a decent recorder is about $300, which is part of the reason why I don't own one yet. The one thing I recommend if you do record with a lapel mic is to try and hide it so that way it doesn't look amateurish just clipping on the outside of your clothes. If you guys like these sound recording techniques, then definitely like this video and make sure to subscribe so you can make sure to get more future content from me. And if you want, follow me on Instagram so you can get some more non-video content from me. And definitely leave a comment below with something you took away from these sound tips. So until next video, see ya.